we arrive at our Airbnb and get checked in and check the place out. Check it out, guys. We're going in here. We're actually staying at someone's house. It's actually a really, really nice place, but you have to go back in off the street. It's pretty interesting. There's persimmons and grapevines as you walk back through. Then you gotta come up to the gate. And open the gate to go in. And there's obviously flowers everywhere. But it's all right. I like it here. Bo don't care for it, but I do. Because I'm not an up front on the strip kind of person. But come back here, have a little seating area. And then this is the room that we're going to go into. I like it. It's a nice, I think it's a nice area, nice place. There is, it looks like a queen size bed here, AC. And then there's a twin size bed here. Got a refrigerator. We have the head again. The toilet with a shower right beside it, and the sink. Here they must do have a lot of Americans or people that are from somewhere else that don't use bidets a lot. But it's a quaint little place. I like it. I think it's pretty nice. Smells clean, looks clean. I don't think for what we're paying for it, it's 40 euros or 3,800 lek. Not a bad thing. So I'm okay with it. Looks nice. And then the outside area has a lot of really nice things about it. So all right, I'm walking out of town of, what is this, Scory?
Shishkora?
Shishkora?
Something like that. Shiroka.
Shiroka. Yeah. That's what it is. So I'm walking out of town of Shiroka. There's some interesting stuff in this town. It's a little lakeside town. It's a long lakeside town. There's hillsides. With all kinds of, well, olive groves and oranges and things. Then there's stuff like this. It looks like an old abandoned building, but it's, you can tell it's not been, it didn't get finished. The construction didn't get finished. To me, that'd have been cool to own. But there's all kinds of stuff, but it's a busy little burg. A lot of little things here. Pretty interesting.
NASCAR 90 there.
Yeah, and don't worry about driving here in this town. You just get ran over. They will gladly do it. But everywhere is coffee shops. You can see here into the trees here is a little coffee shop and a bar.
And that's that bridge that goes out to that house. Do you want to try to walk out there?
Where you can drink a coffee and have a beer, drink some whiskey. You can't.
No, it is. Stop.
It's private. We'll see, here's a little coffee shop. I think it's pretty neat how here they like their coffee. They drink a lot of coffee.
And the roads are definitely not as good as the walking paths.
Yeah, the walking paths Here are, in some areas the roads are really good, but then some areas they're not. But see, you can see a guy out there fishing. He's not fishing with fishing poles, he's fishing with nets. He's net fishing. And I would suppose it was gill nets. It's pretty neat. So, you know, there's some really interesting things here. Not as clean of a little town as far as trash is concerned. There is a little bit of trash here. But, you know, everybody's got to do their part, and I'm sure some people don't. But you can tell, you can see the hillside there. Little quaint little houses. And it's only maybe a half a mile, maybe a quarter mile to the mountain from the road, which is only 300 feet off of the river or the lake. So
I wonder what that is.
that's pretty neat.
It's almost like, see all those birds? They're on like.
Yeah, that's like a little fishery right there. I would say those were fisheries. Where all them white dots are, those are seagulls out there. I would say it's a fishery to where they either keep their nets in the river or whatever. What would that be? That's pretty
They're
interesting.
storing more wood there, but
It's a wood storage. I'm not real sure what that would have been. Huh. And it could have been easily, maybe, I don't know. I would have to get up on top there to see what exactly that was.
kind of villa because there's a gate to get in there.
Someone's house is in there, but why they would store wood like that, I don't know. I mean, keep it dry, obviously, but
Maybe that's the ruined part, and then they're living in a different section.
could be ruins, but like I said, this is not a terrible area. Pretty much, I will say, no matter pretty much where I go in this country, I don't feel like if it was dark, I would be scared to be there. I did find an open gate. So I'm gonna come in, I'm see if I get ran off. Maybe not. 2012. I find cemeteries quite interesting because you can see kind of how the town is and how people use it, which tells you how thriving or how not good the town is. But like I said, if you look at the stuff here, it's unkept. It's quite an interesting ordeal to me anyway. 1867 white marble. Interesting. And that one would be even older yet because it has no headstone except that cross. When I was walking past this building, I wasn't sure if there's gonna be like a homeless guy jump out of there and scare the crap out of me or
a groundskeeper step out and ask me what I was doing, because it is kind of a strange thing to see a foreigner walk through a country's cemetery.
I don't know if them are pomegranates or if these are, yeah, they're pomegranates bursting. And I can tell you this much, they're not going to dig a grave, because no way. It is straight rock here. Wow, 2001. 99 and 2001. 99. Now that's a strange to me, because here is a grave and here's a grave, but yet here is a mausoleum to both of them. Quite interesting.
And it was here I was peering over the wall, because I could hear what sounded like someone chipping away at rock, and I was wondering if there was a homestead behind this cemetery, or if someone was working on the mountainside chipping out gravestones, or what they was doing. I kept peering over the wall to see what I could see, but all I seen was the underbrush and the trees going up the mountainside. It was a pretty cool little area.
Stuff to me it is. So a lot of people would be crazy, but I find graveyards very, very interesting, because this isn't an everyday thing. Like I said, they don't keep the graveyard up, which is highly, highly crazy to me. But you know, in the South, we have Civil War graveyards that we don't keep up. That they're animal bones. I'm not gonna wander too deep around here, because you might find things you don't want to find. Let's go over here. These are new. No, these mausoleums are newer. Those aren't. Those would be the 80s. I would say those were 80s, 1980s. Those would be way before 2000s. The oldest stones I've seen in here was 1800s. But this would have been someone of super importance, or had quite a bit of money to be able to own. And see, these two, this one and this one in the back, would have been let's see, wow, that would have been 1866 to 1928, and then 1911 to 1928.
At this point, I figured out that it seemed to be an adult, an adolescent child, and a very young child. But whoever it was, they must have been of something of importance to the area, or they did have a good bit of money, because even though those look like concrete mausoleums, they weren't. They were marble mausoleums, which takes a good bit of money.
If you study history, you can see a lot by the grave site on how they're the people were. Pretty interesting to me. I'm going back. Chapel. I'm assuming this is where they would have had their last rites. But people still honor people here because there is all kinds of flowers. Placed on the graves. I'm not quite sure what the significance is of these little things. I'll show you. I think it's a candle.
Catholic churches they had that you put in the sand, you know?
Yeah. Some kind of candle or incense holder, something. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Okay, till I find something else. Look at this. A little break in the fence there that goes along the edge of the road. Stairs, it's been here for eons. And then we'll come down in here and do us a little, how do you say? Adventuring. Don't know what this would have been down here unless it had been some kind of a little lakeside park, maybe. Because if you look at the ground, you can tell that it was poured concrete. And then you have a step here. And this goes around over here to this here, which goes down a little path to the ocean, or to the lake, which may very well have been a way down here. This would have all been cleared out. And maybe you come down here to catch the ferry at one time that took you over to town, so you didn't have to walk the 8 or 10 miles around to town. Quite neat that, you know, like I said, it goes down. Let's check out this other side here. Oh yeah. Let's look down this way a little bit. See what I see. There's a little path that goes down through here. Not if someone is like without a place to live and is staying down here, I don't want to bother them. You know, like homeless. I don't like bothering people that are like that because, well, as you just shutting. Let's see all this poured concrete. And then come down here some more. Oh man, that blasted plant is thorny. There's more concrete. And this very well could have been a place where you come down to and and walked along the river, the lake too, in the 80s. Maybe even go back to the Soviet era, or not Soviet, but the communist era. So cows must like it down here too, because there's a nice cow pie. Not fresh, but kind of fresh. So, yeah, quite an interesting ordeal here, I would say. But yeah, there's even here in the wild, if you see this plant here, this tree right here, it's a pomegranate tree just growing in the wild. We have wild blackberries and blueberries and junk in the United States. There's wild figs and pomegranates over here. Told you guys I'd find some more interesting stuff here. Check this out. This is their fishing nets that they stretch out in the rivers. Look at that. And I show you how it works. So it's kind of like our minnow traps that we use at home. They go in, and they go in here, and then they get caught. They can't come back out the hole. It's like a minnow trap. And then every other one, this one has an in, and then this one has an in from this side. So it's one goes in this way, and then one goes in this way. But the whole trap itself is open, and they all stay in here. And then they open up the end here. They open up this end here where that knot is, and they dump them out there. And then I'll show you the river they put them in. I'm not gonna get too close because this is this guy's camp, fish camp. But this is the river here coming from Skogra and everything. But see, the river comes down and it flows this way. And obviously you can tell a couple fishermen down there getting their nets ready to go. But I didn't realize this. Yeah, see, this is like a fisherman's camp, all the fish boats. So I don't know if it'll show up. Out there on the horizon, right in there, was a whole bunch of sticks in the water. And I think that's where they tie them onto. And then let them go with the flow of the river.
If you can zoom in, I don't know if you can, but you can see
But
the swirls right there around that rock.
If you have watched and enjoyed the video, please share, like, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of a new video when it comes out. Please follow us along next time as we head toward Theth. The roads are narrow and the sights are beautiful.
Told you guys I'd find some more interesting stuff here. Check this out. This is their fishing nets that they stretch out in the rivers. Look at that. And I show you how it works. So it's kind of like our minnow traps that we use at home. They go in, and they go in here, and then they get caught. They can't come back out the hole. It's like a minnow trap. And then every other one, this one has an in, and then this one has an in from this side. So it's one goes in this way, and then one goes in this way. But the whole trap itself is open, and they all stay in here. And then they open up the end here. They open up this end here where that knot is, and they dump them out there. And then I'll show you the river they put them in. I'm not gonna get too close because this is this guy's camp, fish camp. But this is the river here coming from Skogra and everything. But see, the river comes down and it flows this way. And obviously you can tell a couple fishermen down there getting their nets ready to go. But what an interesting thing. I didn't realize this. Yeah, see, this is like a fisherman's camp, all the fish boats. So I don't know if it'll show up. But out there on the horizon, right in there, was a whole bunch of sticks in the water. And I think that's where they tie them onto. And then let them go with the flow of the river.
If you can zoom in, I don't know if you can, but you can see
But
the swirls right there around that rock.
Mm-hmm. It's going down. I mean, you can obviously tell it's going this way. It's going toward town, going toward Skoder. Very interesting. Very, very interesting.